Welcome back to the Indy Boys Racing Podcast. We have a very special episode for you guys today because this week is Indianapolis 500 week. We have a very special show planned for you guys today. My name is Tristan Grider, joined with, as always, my incredible co-hosts, Chaney and Justin Cox. We have a lot to talk about today. How are we doing today, boys?
Oh, I'm doing great. We got a very great interview coming up with Hunter McElrea. I feel it was pretty good. But I'm excited. 500s this weekend. We've been at the track like every day for the 500 and the GP, and it's gonna be great. I feel like this weekend is gonna be great. So, yeah. What about you,
Guys.
Daniel?
I'm feeling great, dog. We've been at the track almost every day, and so I'm tired, and I'm glad we're kind of like getting a little bit of a day off. But at the same time, it's 500 week, and I am really excited for that. I've been waiting for this day pretty much since last year's IndyCar season ended, because I'm excited for this to start, but you know, you're excited for the 500 all the time. So I'm really glad we're here.
Nice.
Yeah, the day that we're filming this, we are 5 days away from the Indianapolis 500.
Indianapolis.
And the day that this comes out, we will be 2 days away. So that is really exciting. 2 or 3 days away. I don't know how math works. But today, we have a very special show. We're going to talk all about the experience that was Indianapolis 500 qualifications. We're going to talk about whether or not NASCAR should abolish the All-Star race from Texas Motor Speedway. And, of course, we're going to talk to our friend Hunter McElrea, Indy Lights driver for Andretti Autosports. I guess we're just going to try to interview every single one, guys, and have them on the show, because now we're 2 for 4. Hey, might as well. I could do some emails real quick and get them on pretty quickly. But, hey, we got a very special show. Let's go ahead and start with Motorsport Media, because we have a couple F1 things.
Okay, so now that we transition over into Motorsport Media, the only really thing I have for Motorsport Media is that F1 is actually going to be grouping the 2023 schedule together by locations, like North America, all the Americas, I should say, because they race in Mexico and Canada too. Then like the main Europe, Australia, and probably like Singapore is probably gonna be somewhere around there too. But yeah, I think that was pretty cool that they're doing it that way, and that's really all I got. So.
Motorsport Media, guys, I mean, really don't have that much. I mean, not much happened in NASCAR this weekend besides the controversy with the All-Star race. And with IndyCar, the only real news, I guess, was just that there was a couple of engine problems with Steph Wilson. I guess, Daniel, you could talk about that real quick. What was going on with Steph Wilson?
So I don't know quite exactly what happened, but to some of our friends in the media center this week, what appears to have happened, again, I don't know 100% of the information on this, but I guess when they were putting together his engine, they messed up the gears, and so his gears were set first gear, third gear, second gear, and so every time he would switch gears, it would be wrong, which was just screwing with the engine pretty much his entire run. So he wasn't able to qualify, and so by default, he had to start. He's gonna have to start 33rd for the Indy 500, which it really sucks. But at the same time, that's like when you're lucky that there wasn't a bump day, because if there was a bump day,
He was out.
He would have been screwed. Screwed. So I'm really I'm glad we get to see him stay in the race despite kind of the issues that he's had all week. But stuff like that's going to happen when you have a relatively new team. I know Dragon Speed has done it before and they've got the Voight connection, but this team wasn't expected to run the race until a few weeks ago. So I'm not surprised to see some things happening that kind of need to be tweaked out, but we're at 33, so
That's all that matters.
I don't know. Yeah, all that matters is that his car should be able to run by the race.
All I gotta do is
Um,
swap the gears around. I'm sure it's not easy, but like,
Yeah.
Just swap gears around, guys. Come
just
on.
real quick, just flip
Please
second
just
and
do it, okay?
third. But because
I mean, he's running in the practice right now, so
Hey,
So
his car's working.
He's probably gonna be fine. Because I know.
practice going on right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a practice going on right now. It's been going on for a little under 30 minutes.
It's crazy because this is the first day we haven't been at the track since last Sunday. I think this is our first day off since the GP.
Yeah.
And it's kind of nice. I'm not gonna lie. I slept in this morning.
I did too.
It was nice. It was very nice. If you don't mind me asking, who's top 3 right now for the practice session?
Okay, so the top 3 has shifted a little bit since the last time we checked in. Currently, the fastest is David Malukas, with the second being Sage Karam, and the third being J.R. Hildebrand.
How many cars have ran? Like 20.
It looks like 26.
Okay, not bad.
Nice.
That's cool.
So not the full field, but a good majority.
Cool to see some of those smaller teams up there. I'm not surprised to see Dale Coyne up there just because they're so fast. But kind of cool to see the Brian Reinbold cars, the DNR car, and the AJ Foyt car of Jared Hildebrand up there. So
Yeah, I mean they've all had their moments this week.
true.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like this year, really any car can perform well for the most part. So I'm really curious to see what's going to actually happen in the race because I have no clue what's going to happen really.
Yeah, it's gonna be a crazy weekend in the 500. But our 500 analysis and everything is gonna come a little bit later in the episode. But let's go back a couple weeks to one of the craziest Indy road course weekends in recent memory. Not only did we see Colton Herta take it home for Andretti Autosport, we also had 2 Indy Lights races ran by one of our good friends who we're about to have on the show, Hunter McElrea. Let's go check in with him. And now joining us on our special Indy 500 episode is Indy Lights driver for Andretti Autosport. You see him in the number 27. He had a really solid weekend a couple weekends ago at the IMS road course. Joining us today, Hunter McElrea. How are you doing today, my man?
I'm all good, guys. Thanks for having me on. And yeah, it's good. It's May, and I wish I was racing the free 100, but it's somewhat sunny, and yeah, 500 month. So it's been fun. Obviously, it's kind of funny. I'm used to doing an oval race this time of year, which I actually am not for the first time in 3 years. But got to race at Speedway, which was always special as usual. And yeah, having a good time.
Yeah, and coming off the beginning of the Indy Lights season, I feel like for you was a little bit of a rocky start, and
Yeah.
I know you would say that firsthand. But how good did it feel to get that first podium in Indy Lights?
It was good. Honestly, I was actually a little like because I was leading, right? And I saw how happy like my crew were and stuff when I actually came. Like I crossed the line and I wasn't even really happy, honestly. Like obviously, it was a great result. You know, even when I qualified on the front row of both races, I was angry, like because I didn't quite do my job, and I was a little annoyed because I definitely felt like I could have poled, but it was a good result. The results are good, you know. Getting the first podium was really good. I needed that. Just that was my first race I finished for the year, obviously, which was needed. But it wasn't until like I came in the pits and like I saw my mechanics and my tire guy. They were so happy. So it was like it was good. They deserved a good result. Yeah, just when you're leading that's my second place in Indy. I finished second in USF, Indy Pro, and Indy Lights now. So I'm just like, one day I'll win there. But no, I love that place. It's special, you know. I first drove a race car there in 2017 in the USF 2000 car. So for me to coming back there every time, I feel like a little connection type of thing there. And honestly, it's one of my best tracks, Indy. I think. I mean, I don't have the attitude like I have good tracks and bad tracks because I think you can't have that attitude. Like any racetrack, I believe that I could win because you have to. You know, if you go onto a track like, oh, I'm not good at this track, it's like shouldn't be in the car. You know, so
always
I just
gotta have
there's something
confidence.
about that. yeah, just not even cockiness or anything, because
Mm-hmm.
you're racing guys that are so talented, especially in Indy Lights. Like all my teammates, you know, everyone at there's like probably 8 guys really who could be winning, 7, maybe 8 guys who could be easily winning races in Indy Lights this year. Or you could make an argument that they could win the championship. So it's super, super competitive. But yeah, I love Indy. So I think I'm being greedy for sure. But obviously, I started the year off with a pole by 3/10 in my debut. So that's really been the story for me, is lots of potential, I think. Just hasn't honestly gone to plan really in the races yet. But we have 10 races to go, a long way to go. And I'm having so much fun, driving the Indy Lights car. It's such an awesome car to drive, a huge step up from the previous step in Indy Pro, not just in the car, but in every kind of way off the track too. But no, I'm loving it. And I have a really good opportunity every weekend to go and win. So that, as a driver, is all you can ask for. And yeah, I'm loving it.
And I feel like for the second year in a row, we are really starting to see, again, Andretti versus HMD. Because I feel like
Yeah.
those two teams, all of the cars just could win on any weekend, as you said. Like,
Yeah.
what is the competition level like? Because obviously, with you and your 3 teammates, with all of you guys having pretty much the same car, and that any one of those cars could go out and win on any weekend. How difficult is it to have those team meetings? We'll just take IMS for example. Obviously HMD won both of those races with Frost and with Lundqvist, right? Are those team meetings a little awkward after a solid overall weekend filled with podiums if you guys don't get a win, or are you guys just on to the next week?
No, I'd say awkward. I think HMD were really strong last year at IMS and Barber. If you look at it, they dominated it. Andretti was struggling, honestly. But we did a lot of testing compared to what they did the year before, and everyone did. We did 11 test days, the whole field. So that was new for me. Usually I'm back home, kind of trying to get sponsorship dollars and stuff. But here I stayed back and did a lot of testing, which was really good. I wouldn't say it was an advantage because everyone was at the test. Every test I did, everyone was there. So it was a 14 car Indy Lights test 11 times in the off season, which was crazy. But I think it's why it's so competitive, is everyone is very, very committed, and it's no joke, man. So if you look back though, last year, I just touched on, the 2 tracks that they were very dominant at were IMS and Barber. So that was kind of before the year started, okay, we need to be better at these 2 tracks. And honestly, in the testing at Barber, we were really strong, and we just had a little bit of a weird problem at Barber, which, I qualified 5th, 2/10 off, but I was very disappointed just with the result, which, 5th isn't that bad, honestly. I screwed up in the race, which cost us way more than that. But Barber, we had a little bit of an uncharacteristic pace issue compared to usual, just with some little weird balancing. But we sorted that, and Indy, I could tell in the first session, it was okay, we had the car to win at Indy for sure. I don't necessarily, maybe HMD had a tiny advantage if you just look at maybe the teammates. The HMD usually kind of it ebbs and flows like anything, right? But I think maybe if they had a little bit of a better car at Indy, it was very marginal, because I felt like I had the package to win, and put it on pole, like I said, which is why I was a little disappointed with second. But no, overall, I think it's great, the competition. Linus is in his second year, Benjamin's in his second year, Frost is in his second year, Brabham's in his third year, Stingray's in his second year. So the only really rookies at the front are me and Rasmussen. So it's a lot of guys with a lot more experience, but I don't think obviously it helps the experience, but I don't think there's no reason why I can't go and keep doing what we're doing, and keep putting ourselves in positions to win. I think where the experience comes into to help the other guys at the front is probably a little bit of like time management and just the race management and little things like that. But there's so much information at my fingertips to just look and learn and try and absorb. So to answer your question, I kind of went off track a little bit there, sorry, but I think there's never any awkwardness. No, we want to win. Obviously, driving for Andretti, you're expected to win. You know, they won the last 3 championships in a row. But I think we have a very good balance of working together. You know, we all want to win and beat each other. And, you know, there's been times, you know, obviously I got into Brabham at Barber, which was my bad. And, you know, it wasn't really awkward at all. Brabham was really good about it, I have to say.
That's good.
I really appreciate that. But, you know, there's racing, there's hard racing between teammates. We all want to win. We all want to get to IndyCar. We want that scholarship. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like, it's gloves off, really. But in the truck, we do work together really well. And I think if they didn't admit it, because I will admit it, I think all of us could say that we've probably benefited from each other at least once or twice or more, just having fast teammates like that. So, yeah, I kind of expected it. I mean, it's kind of the big 2 teams in lights. You know, not to say that there's not other teams can't win, because anyone can win. But if you just look historically, it's, you know, Andretti, HMD, it's kind of the two powerhouses.
Especially over the last couple of seasons, I feel like, for sure.
Yeah, particularly when HMD and Global joined, I'd say. I mean, it's pretty much all HMD now, I think. Benjamin, and obviously it's his dad. So I think the global side of it's pretty much just Benjamin now, which is just basically HMD, I think. But no, it's good. I really like the competition. It's what keeps you on your toes, and I think I can't really remember a lights year in the last couple of years that had this many guys that could win. Because you look last year, I was Linus some weekends, but it was really David and Kyle going for it. But this year it's like it's like I said, 7 guys.
Roll a dice and
Yeah, and it's been crazy. Like, you look at the racing, obviously St. Pete looked like I had an easy win in the bag and threw that away. And then you look at Barber, and then you look at the 2 Indy races. I mean, Linus and Christian, obviously Linus getting into Christian there was like, I can't really remember where it's been this much crazy stuff happening. And I think it's because I think with the competition level where it's at, everyone's very aggressive. I mean, I was talking to my teammate about this a bit. Like, it's aggressive, man. Like, it's never just a parade. It's not easy racing ever, but just the opening laps, it's so aggressive. Like, everyone is racing so hard, so you really can't get pushed around. And it's kind of, I think, in nature, even with pushed pass, it's very strong. Like Indy GP and probably Road America's long straights, the push to pass is so strong. But the first laps are really where, like, you can kind of settle in, and it kind of settles in, and the dirty air starts to affect, and restarts too, which is why everyone's so aggressive, I think.
Yeah, for sure. Well, yeah, I mean, it's, as you said, it's that race to get the scholarship, and whoever wins this championship, man, is gonna get that seat, and that's very, very important. All right, and my last question for you before I pass this one over to Jay is that I'm going to talk to you about your relationship with one of your teammates. We've had him on the show before. Your relationship with Stinger. Like, even like when we were sitting up in the media center, like, we'd be like watching from like the balcony, and like it feels like you two are always together, which is like kind of nice, because it's like, oh, like, they're buddies, they're not just teammates, they're friends. How do you go from seeing this guy beat you every single weekend in Indy Pros to like building that relationship like together? Because like he, like, in 2020 he put together one of the more stellar seasons, but like I feel like you got to kind of cap it off at the end of the season with that win at St. Pete. But how do you go from like competing against this guy for a completely different team to like building that relationship together of like becoming really, really good friends and teammates?
Yeah, I mean, I would say honestly, Stingray is just a nice dude. Like, it's not that I'm like any more friendly to him than I am with any Christian or Matt. You know, I get along with them honestly really good. I've raced hard with all of them. Yeah, Stingray obviously had a pretty dominant. I think Stingray was definitely probably the dominant car that year in Indy Pro, and he had a great season. And yeah, obviously it was good to see him win that year because that was like his. He wasn't a new guy. He'd really been through a lot of
year, I believe, in pro.
yeah, a long process. So it was like not that you always want to win yourself, but it was like it's good to see him win. It's not like you can't say he didn't deserve it for sure. And he's always been a super nice dude. Like everything that I've raced on track with him has been like pretty clean, honestly. Like never like any kind of maneuver that you'd be like, oh, that was a bit weird, which is pretty normal, honestly, in racing.
Yeah.
So he's always been known him on track as a really clean guy, and it was nice to be like obviously teammates with him and Christian and Matt. Like, okay, we're on the same stuff now. Like, let's see where we all stack up. And yeah, it's been good to see that and work alongside him. And he's just a nice guy. He's a very, very probably a lot more pure of a person than I am, as he would probably say.
Yeah.
Me and Matt get him. Matt's worse than I am, Brabham. Christian just sits in the corner last, but Matt really pokes him and tries to crack him, which he hasn't done. He hasn't cracked him. I don't think you can crack Stingray to like say one swear word or anything. I've never seen Stingray say one swear word. Can't really say the same for Brabham or myself. But no, it's been good working with him, and I think probably what you're seeing was just a bit of relief from myself. Just to finally finish Indy Lights race. So I was feeling happy just to, okay, I got some points on the board after the first two. And I think he was very happy too, just because being on the podium, he didn't have any podiums last year or anything like that. So I think for him, he told me how good it feels to be back on the podium after a pretty bad year from his mouth, last year. So yeah, he's a good dude, Stingray. But again, I'm racing him, and it's
he's
not that you can't.
He's your teammate, he's your friend, but in all, you're both going for the same thing.
Yeah, it's not like I would say like I'm not his friend or anything like that, but I'm not thinking about our friendship in the car, or man, like no one is.
You're trying to beat him.
Not one person is, but for sure, as a teammate, you give them a certain amount of respect on track. And he's a very good teammate. So I really enjoy having Stingray as a teammate. And yeah, I enjoy having both Christian and Matt as a teammate. I think they all bring a certain characteristic. They're all different, which is good. I think we're all different, to be honest, all four of us, and what we want from the car. I mean, I kind of tend to drive the car a little bit more freer than all my other teammates, generally speaking, but which Stingray gives me a hard time about. But no, it's a good balance for sure between not just like you said, me and Stingray, but Christian and Matt too. It's a good group.
That's awesome. All right, let's go ahead and pass this one over to Jay. We're probably going to play a quick game with you. You want to explain those rules, Jay?
Okay. All right. So this game is called This or That. And just
Okay.
really right off the top of your head, after we ask you the first two things, just whatever two that we asked, you just got to choose one or the other. Just straight off the top of your head as soon as possible, okay?
All right, sounds good.
Okay, I'll go first. Freezing wet race or dehydrating dry race?
Dehydrating dry.
Interesting. Gatorade or Powerade?
Gatorade.
Gatorade. Talk to any driver that you could that is deceased or know the future of your career.
Deceased.
Deceased, nice. What driver would it be, though? I want to ask.
Oh, let's say James Hunt.
Ooh, okay.
Oh,
okay.
wow.
I was
Okay.
gonna say Senna, but everyone would say Senna. And I think honestly, as cool as Senna was to watch, James Hunt would be way more entertaining.
Okay, that's funny. Okay,
Get that?
Daniel, you can go ahead.
He'd have
Alright.
better stories.
All right. Pasta or burgers?
That's hard. It depends, but if we're comparing like the best burger I've had and the best pasta, I'd say, that's really. I know I'm supposed to be quick at this, but probably pasta. I would say
Okay.
it's hard.
Winning-
That's really hard.
winning the Indy 500 or winning the IndyCar Championship?
It's a good one. I would say I feel like either would be amazing, but missing one would, like I said, to win either of those would be amazing for the rest of your life. But I would say probably it's hard, but I'd probably have to say 500, honestly. As much as I'm a road racer and like being a road racer and want to win championships and have won championships, and it's such a good feeling, but I don't know, man. Just, I guess we're going to go for it, 500. It's not easy choice, though.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely a hard choice.
It's not lightly. It's not lightly.
And then last one, running or cycling?
Honestly, I would say, like, I enjoy running, but it's hard on your body. So I would say purely cycling, so I'm not 80 and in pain.
I definitely can get that.
All right, here we go. These might be a little bit of a surprise.
He's got some more questions too. This is hard, man. You guys put me on the spot.
So we got Nike or Jordan. Which one?
Jordan.
Oh, that's a great
All
answer.
day Jordan.
Nice.
All day Jordan. I feel like
I feel like
that's
it's the same thing, no, but
kind of, but
yeah,
you know that they're different. Kind
yeah,
of.
yeah. I mean, I'd be rocking Jordan. I like rocking Jordan, so yeah.
Okay.
Would you rather swim everywhere or fly everywhere?
Fly all day.
And
Like right now, if I could just like whip off his balcony and fly, I'd be doing it. Trust me, I'd be taking you guys in the air because swimming, any person can swim, dude. No one can fly.
Yeah.
That's the easiest one so far.
Would you rather? I guess this is kind of tough. Would you Xbox or PlayStation, or if you want to throw Nintendo and PC in there, you can.
PC.
Yeah.
I would say PC because I run my simulator for PC, and I'm terrible at this. And I'm gonna get a lot of like flack for this, but I play Fortnite with my friends.
No, bro,
As
I
a
play
social
Fortnite
thing.
too. I
Hey,
play
hey,
Fortnite too.
that's
It's
Fortnite.
very cool.
Fortnite is like I can't play by myself because
Yeah,
I get
yeah.
bored. But I've got friends in Europe who race, and it's honestly a good way to catch up and just talk to them and play a few duos or squads or whatever, and it's like it's a good time. But it's not really like something that I'll do by myself because I suck.
That's funny.
It's just that I feel you on that. I'm not that great at that game. Daniel knows from firsthand experience how bad
Hey, I'm not even that great either, but Tristan makes me look good sometimes.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
That's I'm that guy.
In my last this or that question, would you rather, if you weren't a driver on the car, would you rather be the mechanic or the pit road guy?
By pit road guy, you mean
Would you
like
rather,
the tire
I'm
changer?
sorry, would you rather be a tire changer or would you rather be your main mechanic? Which one would you be?
They usually are like the same guys sometimes, but I would say
Strategist, I guess.
I'd be a strategist.
Strategist,
Like
yeah.
I'm not good enough on the tools, unfortunately. And being a mechanic's hard. Like, especially when you have a car that gets thrown in the fence and it's hot and you're repairing this destroyed car that needs to be on track in a couple hours. And strategist is hard too because a lot relies on you. But honestly, I could make an argument of why all the jobs are actually, other than driving, are harder. Honestly, because it's like it's so brutal racing. It's such an emotionally charged sport. As much as you have to like try and remove all the emotion from it, it's so tough. And it's no different for the mechanics, man. They're taking all their time away from their families. They're at the shop all the time. They're traveling like us, and it's crazy. So I'm really lucky to be driving for sure. And I think knowing how tough it is to be a mechanic and a strategist and tire changer and all those guys, it's really tough. So I'd say, for that question, I'd say strategist, because I feel like I would, not that I would be good at that if you put me on the box,
Yeah.
but I would probably be a bit better at that, just maybe knowing experience, like being the driver. And I think I'd enjoy that. If I wanted to do that, I would enjoy the challenge of that and maybe managing the race from the box. So I'd go strategist.
Cool.
All right, so I got a few questions for you, and then we're gonna go to Daniel. So you competed in the Australian Formula Ford Championship, and many people may not know that. And you won a championship, and actually joining Jamie Whincup, Chaz Mostert, Will Davison, a lot of great drivers. So what are some of the things that like you took that kind of help you in the road to Indy?
It was honestly like probably if I didn't win that, I would never have been over here
Yeah.
because I probably would have like honestly raced in Australia a bit. Like I always wanted to come to IndyCar and come to the States for sure because it was my dream. And at the time, I don't know if you guys remember, but there was the Mazda Road to Indy Scholarship Shootout.
Yeah.
And basically, if you won the Australian Formula Ford Championship, you would get a ticket to that. And then obviously if you won that, you got a scholarship from Mazda to go on USF 2000. So I did my first year of National Formula Ford, and it's really tough, honestly. I would say it's not quite USF 2000 level, but not far off USF 2000 level. It's all the best kids in Australia. So I started off in New Zealand racing Formula Ford, and then kind of won everything I could over there. In the kind of car I was in at the time, I was in an older Formula Ford. So rather than do the national series in New Zealand, because at the time the Australian Championship was a lot more competitive. It's just bigger, faster cars, just faster engine and stuff like that. Little different tire at the time. So my dad was like, you know, let's do this, and he raced my dad actually won Formula Ford in 1991 in New Zealand, so he's a big believer in that, and so am I. And actually, the car that I drove in Formula Ford in the National Series with Team Sonic was the same car and team that Brabham drove in like 10 years before me.
Wow.
So it's funny, how that worked out. But I had a really good year in 2018. I dominated the championship, broke a lot of records. I think I won like 13 races. And then I won the national championship, which was huge for me because it was my first championship, and actually my only championship right now. I finished second and third a lot in other ones, but my only championship currently. And got the shootout ticket, which I was able to go and win that, and that's really what springboarded me into the States. So I'm actually impressed you knew all the guys who won that championship, because a lot of those guys are all supercars guys.
I love supercars. That's one of my favorite series. I love watching supercars.
So what actually happens is a lot of it's not really common anymore. That kind of style of driving, you know, it's got no aero at all. It's kind of to explain the cars to people who don't know what the cars are like. It's pretty much USF 2000 power level
minus downforce.
No downforce, no wings, on a road car tire basically. So no grip, and you really learn how to drive with mechanical grip. H pattern gearbox, 4-speed. So very, very different to what most kids in Europe and even America, because they just go into F4 now. And I've done coaching in F4, and it's a good category, but to learn, I think for me, without a doubt, the best thing that happened to me was, well, the best choice that my dad made, one of the many that he made for me, was Formula Ford, starting there, because I learned so much. And then going to USF, it was like, this thing's easy. It's got so much grip. I got paddle shift and I got grip. I mean, there was a learning curve for sure, as always, like learning how to completely different style of racing. I mean, the shifting, that anyone, my nana could shift and paddle shift, you know, that's fine. It was just the braking style was very different, which took me maybe a session or two, but no, you know, straight away, obviously my first year in USF, I was winning the championship, winning races, and led it to the last race of the year, where I kind of got robbed a bit with the car failure, but no, I really enjoyed my time at Formula Ford. I think it's a great category. I still think I don't think it's like if you don't race Formula Ford, you're not going to be a champion in IndyCar open wheel. But it's definitely more so made for maybe the guys now in Australia. Or the reason it's still there is because all the guys want to go to V8 supercars, because there's like 12 champions of V8 supercars who started in that.
Yeah.
And if you look at all of the guys who are champions in it, the only guy who isn't kind of went the open wheel route from Nash Formula Ford is Will Power, and he actually got second in the championship, I think, in 2001.
Yeah.
So, it's cool.
Okay, nice. So actually, as you mentioned when we first got into the episode, you finished second here in Indy in all the road to Indy categories. And what is not letting you conquer Indy? Like,
I think, honestly, it's just stuff I could have done better. I've had a lot of opportunities to win. I've been leading here a lot. In USF 2000, I was leading on the last lap, and I made an error and gave Braden Eves a win. Indy Pro, I never really had the chance to win, I would say, but I maximized 2 really good podiums.
Yeah.
But in Indy Lights, I was obviously winning. And I think, I don't know, I could have done a little bit of stuff better, but I think for the situation I was in, I just didn't really. I could have took a little more risk to win, but like I said, I was in the position where I need to start banking some points. So I wasn't really prepared to kamikaze dive bomb Daniel for the win. Maybe if it was for the championship, probably would have had a dip. But if I didn't crash the first 2, I probably would have done it too. But no, it wasn't a high percentage move to win. But I was obviously leading, and I think if they didn't go full course, it was game over. Obviously when not Daniel, Linus tagged Christian. I had like a good gap there, and it was game over. Yeah. I would say, but then they went full course, which you can't control that, and I understand why they did. So, I don't think it's it's not a curse or anything. I mean, I finished second there. It's honestly a good thing to have. I'd be on the podium there a lot.
Yeah.
But it's just being Indy, I want to win there so bad,
exactly.
And there's plenty of other tracks that I would like to win at too. It's just I've been so consistent there, and I think it'll come. It's not like I wake up every night like why didn't I win? I mean, there's times about maybe the week after of a race or something, you'll be laying there at night thinking about damn, I'm so annoyed about this or this or this. Yeah. But no, I think I'm very lucky, honestly, just to have good results there as much as I want to win, and I don't think it's there's something stopping me from doing it. It just hasn't fell my way yet, really. Yeah, even though I've had maybe a couple opportunities, doesn't always work out. But yeah, it eventually does.
Yeah, I'm sure it's gonna happen. I almost can guarantee you're gonna get a win there. But I just had to ask to see what your thoughts
I'll hold you
on
to
that. I got you.
I feel like every time that we get to IMS, whenever we'll talk about the Indy Lights races, at least one of us will pick you.
Yeah.
That's just how it kind of gets to the point.
Yeah, it's good. Keep doing it. It'll happen soon.
We got you. And
you can thank us when it happens.
Yeah.
Yep.
And final question. So when you were coming to the States from Formula Ford, to kind of go along with this last question, was Scott Dixon and Scott McLaughlin being fellow New Zealanders? I know McLaughlin kind of came after you were here, but were they kind of influencers for you to come to the Road to Indy IndyCar route?
For sure, Scott Dixon and Will Power.
Will Power.
Just Dixon for sure, obviously very, very accomplished. Goes without saying.
Scott Dixon.
Will Power. Will Power, same thing. Dude's a beast in qualifying. You look over the years, best qualifier ever in IndyCar.
Yeah.
If you look over the years, he'll probably pit Margot, I think. And he hasn't won as many championships as Dixon, but you look at his stats and they're insane. And he's a 500 winner and champion. So they're 2 guys from my side of the world, and it's been cool. I've actually talked a lot with Scott and definitely Will. I've actually talked a lot recently with Will. He's been really cool, helping me out of just I'll go on the sim. He'll call me up and be like, "Oh, let's do a sim race." All right,
Nice,
I'll
nice.
do like 4 hours of sim racing with him. And he was in my apartment like 2 days before
Oh yeah.
the Indy GP. He just stopped in. He released his car, I think, in the Riley Children's Hospital, I'm in
Oh
Carmel, so
yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
right
Oh
over the
yeah.
road.
Yeah.
And he just showed up. I'm like, "Oh, hey, dude." So he's cool power. I really like
Mm.
him, and he's been super cool recently, helping me out a lot, and
Yeah.
just the advice and stuff. And he's obviously nearing, not that he's done, because he's leading the championship right now, but
Yeah. Yeah.
he's more toward the end of his career and stuff like that. So
Mm.
no, it's been cool. I think definitely those two guys in particular, uh, for sure, were motivated me
Mm.
and gave me something to watch when I was young. You have like pictures on your room and your wall of those two guys. Oh, I did, and it's cool how it like works out. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, that's all I got for you. So great answers. Love talking to you, Hunter. But Daniel,
Thanks,
what
man.
you got? Yeah.
Yeah, I've just got two quick questions. My first question, so obviously this year has been your first season in the Indy Lights portion of the Road to Indy series. So how different has Indy Lights been in comparison to not only the other Road to Indy series, but also any other series that you've ever competed in? Like, what's been the most like difficult or most fun things about kind of the transition into this series?
Good question. I would say they're way faster. Like,
Nice.
it's probably not the most uh, best thing to say, but if I'm honest with like the steps on the road to Indy, it's really like USF 2000, Indy Pro 2000, Indy Lights.
Okay.
It's like they're way faster.
Yeah.
Like you kind of drive an Indy Pro car and you're like, oh yeah, it's a bit faster, like more grip, but really similar.
Mm.
And then you go to the Indy Lights car and it's like completely different. Not completely different, but just very different. Way bigger, way more powerful, turbo. You really, you really have to. I was lucky that I had a really good coach,
Yeah.
named Bob Perona, who like he's worked with a lot of IndyCar guys over the years and still does. Who was always kind of training me and teaching me for the step ahead. So I think when I hopped in the Indy Lights car, it was like the stuff I'd already been working on in the junior categories. So I actually got up to speed very quick. Like for me, you obviously got to believe in yourself, and I knew I was like, okay, I'm going to be in the best team, so like I'm going to have the equipment, so I needed to do the job.
Mm.
Um, and I just need to get comfortable in the car. And all, my first test, I knew that I talked to a lot of people, and they're like, yeah, it's going to be a big step. Just expect it to like blow your head off the first time you go flat, and it did. And then like 3 laps later, it's just another car, So
Yeah.
I got up to speed really, really quick. I felt really comfortable straight away, which was a good surprise. Which I think was why we were able to get off to such a good start at St. Pete, and yeah, it just felt like in this car I feel really good. I don't know if it's just the Andretti or what, but I really enjoy this car. But to answer your question, I think that's why you see a lot of these guys. It takes them a long time to learn because it's so different to particularly the first two, just in terms of the size, having to control your throttle foot with a turbo because now you actually have wheel spin and power, and just the braking is way different too. It's so much more force in the brake pedal. So I love it. Truthfully, there's not one thing that I'm like, oh, I was kind of better in the Indy Pro or the USF, which it should be like that, So
Mm-hmm.
I would say I kind of wish the Indy Pros were faster. I mean, when I drove Indy Pro, it's like, yeah, this thing's quick. But having driven all three, I think the USF's a great entry level from Formula Ford. For me, it was like very good step of terms of just not power, but just the driving style.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I don't know what they can do with the Indy Pro. Just more power, really. I think is the biggest thing. But yeah, it's still great. It's a great platform. The Road to Indy is awesome. It's the best Road to Indy or the best pyramid. I don't know what you call it, ladder.
Yeah, the best
junior Formula ladder in the world.
To the top.
And I've benefited from scholarships and stuff like that, and I wouldn't be here without it. So I love the Road to Indy. It's the best in the world, in my opinion. But I just think that Indy Pros can be a little bit quicker. That's all. So no, but again, I think had I not driven the Road to Indy, I wouldn't have been ready for Indy Lights still. So it still did its job.
Right. All right, and then my last question. So something that we heard from your teammate Stingray Rob when we talked to him was about the atmosphere in the team of Andretti Autosports and just how it's so much of like a family. So how has this like aspect of kind of a big family vibe helped you grow in your time with them so far?
I would say for me, it's more of a business environment personally. I came from the last 204 Paps Racing was like the definition of a family team, and there was very, very, very good vibes in there, and it's great in Andretti as well. But it's just for me, we all get along great for sure. It's a really good vibe, but for me, it's a lot more like business. And I mean, I have a lot of fun for sure. Like I'm never not gonna have fun, because it's too much of a good opportunity not to enjoy it, and it's not like I'm not cracking jokes or messing about. Sometimes having fun. Obviously, I'm there to do a job, and it's like my livelihood of my life. Like at the end of the day, it's the only thing I want to do is race and win, and everything's been put into this. So it's not like I'm messing around when it's time to be serious. But I think for me, I just feel like I got a job to do at the track, which I always did feel like that. But I can see what Stingray means about the family environment for sure, because it's a great group. But for me, I would say it's definitely more of a, driving for Andretti now. It's a huge corporation.
Yeah.
A lot more procedures, a lot more stuff. For me, it's more of a business, like a feeling in a way, which is, I like that too. So I don't think it's wrong in saying what he said, but for me, it's more of like, this is a lot more of a company, like you have to win. Like this is no messing about here. So and it's really cool.
Yeah, serious, straight face. Yeah, like I got.
Yeah, I'll try to be.
You gotta always have the game face on.
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right, before we let you go, Hunter, I just have to ask the one thing that you're going to be asked by every single person. Who is your Indy 500 pick for next Sunday?
Well, I think the Ganassi cars are like in quali trim anyway. I don't know how they're so fast. They're so fast, like all of them.
Yeah.
Usually there's like a couple quick ones to the team, but there's usually maybe a couple of. They have Ganassi has something in qualifying trim anyway. That's like ridiculous.
Yeah.
They're very fast. ECR is quick too, with Renus and Ed. Ed's always. You know what? I'm gonna go Ed.
Ooh, okay.
I like Ed. He works out the same place I do. He's a good guy. Yeah. He's just very, very kind of calm, and I think if he won, it would be cool. So I'd like to see Will Power win it. It'd be cool seeing Scott Dixon win it. It'd be cool seeing a lot of guys win it. But I think Ed maybe. Let's just go with Ed. I'm just throwing that out there.
There you go. So you have it now, folks. Hunter McElrea's pick for the 2022.
If he wins, do I get a prize or what?
Yeah, of course you do. We'll send you something.
We'll figure something out.
Cool. I mean, we just gave David Malukas the damn iCarly flag for making the Indy 500, so we'll get you something. Don't worry.
There you go. He didn't even need to qualify, and he gets a flag. So.
I mean, hey, that's how it goes. That's how it goes. All right, Hunter, thank you so much for joining the show. Do you have anything you want to shout out?
No, thanks, guys. It was fun. Obviously, I've seen you guys around the track a bit. A little bit overdue, maybe, to come on, but yeah, keep doing what you're doing, and I appreciate you guys having me on. It was fun.
All right, Hunter McElrea, everybody. All right, let's go ahead and start with race reviews. Lots of cool stuff, but the first thing we're going to start with is not technically a race, but it was the most exciting thing this weekend. Daniel, let's talk all about Indianapolis 500 qualies.
Indy 500 quals, baby. They have happened, and holy crap. I was not expecting what we saw this Saturday and Sunday. If you guys are not aware of who won the pole and how fast they went, Scott Dixon won his 5th Indianapolis 500 pole. And he did this by setting the pole record with somewhere in the 234 mile per hour range.
It's 234.046, I believe.
On the
043.
four lap average.
Yeah,
It's just
the 4 lap average. Yeah.
crazy.
Absolutely bonkers. I mean, I was in the pits when this happened, and I was right next to one of the Arrow McLaren, their pits, and right after Scott Dixon laid down his first 234 lap, Pato O'Ward walked out and was just like, just laughing about it. And when you see drivers and teams just hysterically laughing, that's how you know you're witnessing history. I had no clue what was happening. It did not feel real. But holy crap. Really all I can say about that.
It was insane. I mean, I know you two were down on pit road, but I was watching it in turn on because I always watch Fast 9. Well, I guess now it's Fast 12. I always watch the final qualies, the poles in turn 1. I just always have. I always will. And it was very, very cool to see. And I definitely think that the track temp had a little something to do with it because it was freezing yesterday.
Yeah.
But that was just
Mind blowing. Mind
234
boggling. It's
on the
just,
four. Like,
it's just crazy though, because I don't think like a casual person would realize actually how fast that is. Like, you can say, oh, it's like 234 miles an hour, but and nobody's gonna be like, they're not going 234 miles an hour. But you're like,
Scotty
no.
was going 241 in the corners.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god. Like, I apologize to you guys if you guys aren't if you guys are listening to this on Spotify or on Apple Podcasts, but like
The facial
we're
expressions.
still
Yeah.
mind-boggled by what we witnessed yesterday.
I was up taking pictures on top of the pit terrace, like above pit road, and like I just watched him. This is the second year in a row I got to watch him win the pole, so I'm happy about that. But man, like, it's just crazy. Like 200, an average 4 laps of 234. Most people would set a 234, then run like a 232 their second lap, and then just kind of fall off more after that.
Mm-hmm.
He did 234 laps, and then 233, like a super high 233, almost 234, and then like a slower 233. Like,
It was still it was still a 233 lap. We didn't see TK put up a single 233 lap in his
Yeah.
Fast 6 round.
yeah,
And I mean, yes, we saw it with Ed Carpenter. Ed Carpenter put up like a really fast 234 lap, which I think was actually probably the best lap of the entire qualifying session on Sunday, but immediately fell off into a 232. But hot damn. Hot diggity dog, man. That was
he said hot diggity dog.
hot diggity dog. All right. Just go ahead, Dan. I don't know what to say anymore.
So the top 12 that we found out this Sunday, starting first on the front row, got Dixon, Alex Palou, and then Rinus VK. On the second row, we've got Ed Carpenter, Marcus Ericsson, and Tony Kanaan. So having 4 of the 5 Chip Ganassi cars in the top 6, like, how?
And it's crazy
Top
because
6 the top 6 was 2 teams.
It's not
The
okay.
top 6 was Chip
That's
Ganassi
what I was gonna
and
say.
Ed
Yeah.
Carpenter Racing.
Okay.
And that's insane. And then in row 3, we've got Pato O'Ward, Felix Rosenquist, and Roman Grosjean. So we've got both Arrow McLaren, or not both, because they've got 3, but the 2 full-time Arrow McLaren cars, and then the only Andretti driver to get in the top 12 being Roman Grosjean, the man who has literally never run this race before. That's also just insane to me. And then the fourth row, finishing out the top 12, is Takuma Sato, Will Power, and Jimmy Johnson, all drivers that have won in this track before. I'm really intrigued to see what happens. We'll talk a little bit more about this in a little bit, but Scott Dixon, holy crap.
2 rookies in the top 12. Like, we didn't. I don't even think about it but like literally, out of the 7 rookies that are running this race, like 3 of them are in the top 15.
Yeah.
And
This 500 is just gonna be nuts. I'm just saying.
I don't know
There's
who's
a great
gonna win.
there's a great possibility it's gonna be a rookie in my opinion though. I'm just saying.
Yeah, when
I don't know what rookie,
what percentage,
but
what percentage of the field is rookies?
Yeah.
I mean, let me do a quick calculation.
21%.
21% of the field is rookies. That's crazy.
yeah.
I
Cause
don't know, man.
oh man, I don't know. You can't make a prediction. Like this field is so
know.
unpredictable.
Our brains are still fried.
This field is so unpredictable. Like there's
God,
no bro, dude, I don't know. We're all speechless. I'm pretty sure everybody is speechless that like religiously follows IndyCar. Like, oh my gosh, like who is gonna win? Like we don't know. But we'll get into our actual race predictions here in a little bit. But you know,
Anything else you have to say about qualies there, Dan?
Holy crap, Scott Dixon. That's about all I can still say. I don't even know, man.
All right, go ahead, Jay.
okay, I'm gonna run this real quick. We're not gonna do a normal race review because we still got a lot of stuff to talk about for the 500. Race start was clean. Well, somewhat clean. Hamilton and K-Mag got together. Hamilton having some understeer sent K-Mag off into the kitty litter, and he ended up with some damage and had to come back from that. Carlos Sainz's bad luck is still prominent, and yeah, he had a bad start to the race, but he ended up turning around at the end anyway. Max Verstappen ends up doing the same exact thing as Carlos Sainz in turn 4 because of the wind. Some people were saying that there was stuff on the track, but it was actually the tailwind, and that was making the cars go around in turn 4. And so, yeah, that was pretty interesting to watch 2 front runners end up just spinning out of nowhere. So,
Yeah,
but,
it was a good
yeah.
race.
yeah, that was a great race. I'll just skip ahead a little bit. I did want to get into this. Max pitted, and he was battling with George Russell for the lead. I don't know why Mercedes didn't pit George Russell after Max. That made no sense because that lost him the race, in my opinion. Because he had a fair shot to win. I'm not saying he was going to win, but if they would have pitted him with, like, not because he was ahead, but like the next lap after, he would have had a shot to at least hang with Max, you know. But lap 47 and 49, you guys know where I'm about to go with this.
I know where you're about to go with it because
So,
it's not fair.
yeah,
It's not fair.
Yeah. Checo receives team orders. I'll ask you guys a question in a little bit, so we don't have to elaborate too much on it right now. I do got 3 questions, and we'll move through them quick. Lap 47 and 49. Lap 47, Checo receives team orders that Verstappen's faster. Red Bull tells him to move for Verstappen, and lap 49. This is when it actually goes down. He moves for Verstappen, lets him by. But the reason it's not fair is because early in the race, Verstappen was having DRS issues, and Checo asked to go by Verstappen, and the team said copy Checo, but never told Verstappen to move. And Checo had to work and get by, which that gap that Checo could have had, that could have won him the race, actually, if he could have gotten by Verstappen. But they didn't allow him to go by. And at the end of the race, granted, Verstappen did have a big difference in speed compared to Checo, but you can see the favoritism, and it was very, very real in that moment. And Checo even said it himself, this is very unfair, but okay. And then after the race, he was saying that he's talking with Red Bull and the team owners. And but to finish up my race review, Verstappen ends up bringing out home lap 66, and he wins the race. And he still wins every race he's finished so far. Also, here's some of the point scorers. First, Verstappen. Second, Perez. George Russell, third. Carlos Sainz, fourth. Lewis Hamilton, fifth. Sixth, Bottas. Seventh, Ocon. Eighth, Lando Norris. Norris actually went to the hospital right after the race for tonsillitis. Ninth, Alonso. And 10th,
Nice.
yeah, 10th Yuki Tsunoda. Championship standings. Verstappen takes the points lead with 110. Second, Leclerc. Third, Perez. Fourth, George Russell. Fifth, Carlos Sainz. Sixth, Lewis Hamilton. Seventh, Lando Norris. Eighth, Bottas. Ninth, Ocon. And 10th, K-Mag. And then,
Still holding on, baby. Still holding on.
yeah, he's still right there. He's still right there. Constructors, real quick. I'll just do the top three. It's Red Bull, of course, Ferrari, Mercedes, and McLaren and Alfa Romeo are the top five. So questions, so we can get through this quick. What was the team orders by Red Bull in this race fair? I'll start with Daniel, actually. I know Tristan is already, but we'll start with Daniel because I know.
Here's the thing.
By the way, I do want to say.
don't-
I do want to say. Sorry, I do want to say.
You're good. You're good.
I can appreciate team orders when it goes both ways. So I just wanted to put that out there because I know I've said previously Checo's my favorite. If it was fair, I wouldn't be mad about it, but I am very angry about this. So go ahead, Daniel. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, it was pretty unfair because in F1 especially, you see this happen a lot. It's what kind of forced Bottas out of his Mercedes seat because he was just getting the short hand of the stick. You just see on these two-car teams where one is the guy, and that's okay. That's okay to have one driver that is the guy and wins a lot. But when you're holding your other drivers back because of it,
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think that's really fair. Because realistically, Red Bull, if they let both their drivers completely go out there, they could both, if things landed correctly, they could both be in the top two in points and battling for the championship. But they just don't want to.
Mm.
And I don't really understand that. Why you wouldn't want to let both of your drivers go out there and just try to full send it and try to compete with everybody else. I understand maybe like kind of wanting to keep your top star happy, but if it's at the expense of your other top star, I just don't think that's really fair in my opinion. Tristan, what do you think?
It's not fair. I mean, it's already happening, which is annoying because it's
like last season in Abu Dhabi. That was fair team orders because Checo was slower.
yeah,
And he helped
made
Verstappen. He helped. Yeah, it made sense. Yeah.
because Checo wasn't going to win the championship last season.
Yeah.
He only had one win last season at Baku, but like it's the same thing we saw with Verstappen and Albon is now happening with Verstappen and Checo, and we saw how much it affected Albon's career, and now it's affecting Checo's, and it's not fair because honestly Checo might have had a shot to win this race.
Mm-hmm.
Do I think Checo would have won this race and I think Verstappen would have passed him? Yes, because Verstappen was the fastest car on the track and there was no one that was stopping him. But if you're leading the damn race, you shouldn't let your teammate go by. That's not good orders by anyone. You won't see any, because we're not even like in like the
Thick of the
like the
season, like the end of
dude.
the season.
Come on, this is what, race 6,
Yeah.
and it's already happening. I don't agree with it. There's a lot of people that don't agree with it unless you're a Verstappen stan. But yeah, I'll just keep it at that and say that I don't agree with it, and
Okay.
I don't think it should have been done.
Okay.
That's what I will say.
All right. Question 2. is Sainz good and having bad luck, or just underperforming in Ferrari? And personally, I think that he's good and having bad luck, but I wanted to get your guys' piece.
Sainz is having bad luck.
Yeah.
I mean, Ferrari these past couple of weeks have been having real bad luck. And the thing that's going to suck is that we have Monaco this week, which means that there's going to be even worse bad luck for Charles Leclerc.
Yeah, we know how that goes for him at Monaco. So.
And it sucks because I was going to pick Leclerc this season, but after this past weekend, it's just... yeah. I'll just say that he's good, but having some bad luck. That's
Okay.
what I'll just say. Because, I mean, we saw him come off to a red-hot beginning of the season.
Yeah.
Hasn't gotten first on the podium yet, but he's due.
Yeah.
What do you think, Dan?
I mean, I definitely think he's good, but having bad luck. But at the same time, when a top team like Ferrari has so many people that they could move up, and they give someone like Sainz an extension, and then right after the extension, all of a sudden that bad luck hits, it's not a good look.
That's why I asked the question, because I've seen people talk about this, so I wanted to ask you guys to see your opinion. But yeah,
Like, I think he deserves the seat, but it's not looking great right now, and I think it's due to bad luck. Like, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think it might seem like if this keeps up, Ferrari might regret that decision. But it's also a little too early to tell because luck is typically a temporary thing.
Mm.
So I'm not going to get too ahead of myself, but I do think it's bad luck, at least as of right now.
Okay. Final question: does Max retain the points lead for the rest of the season? If yes, why? If no, why? Tristan.
If he keeps winning every dang race he finishes, yeah, he's gonna win the championship again. But here's the thing: I've been all aboard the Leclerc for the championship train since the beginning of the season, and I think that he's probably going to come down to those two. But if Leclerc does not continue to be a threat for podiums for the remainder of the season, keeps having engine failures, keeps having underwhelming performances like he has had the last couple of weeks, then it's going to be a walk in the park for Max Verstappen to get the championship. And honestly, he might lock up the championship a few races before the final race of the season.
Okay. Daniel.
I don't know. I really don't know because, again, Verstappen is someone that he's won every race he's finished, but he hasn't finished every race. And I cannot predict how safe he will drive that car because he is a very talented driver. And sometimes it's the Herta effect. Just driving in there too hard. And you can't really predict that, unfortunately. So I could see him running away with the championship from here, but it's too early for me to tell.
Yeah. I agree. I can see. Well, Herta and Verstappen have very, very, very similar driving styles. I would say that, and very similar careers. Actually, I just want to point that out too. But I think that if Red Bulls,
both their dads were drivers in the series that they're now driving in.
Yeah.
It's kind
that's kind of cool. Yeah, and they're both the youngest to do everything in their respective sport too. Or not
That's
everything,
facts.
but most.
Not everything. Herta hasn't won a championship yet.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying. Most
I know what
most
you're
everything. Yeah, most records that they have. But I think that Ferrari's luck, of course, is not the great. It hasn't been the greatest since we were at Imola, because that's kind of when all this first started, is Imola, and it's just kind of been spiraling after and after and after and after. But yeah, so I think if the luck for Ferrari doesn't turn around, at least this weekend coming on Monaco, Red Bull is going to start pulling away in the constructors and in the driver standings. So it's my opinion. But
We'll see.
Tristan, let's hear about the NASCAR All-Star.
I don't want to talk about All-Star.
I don't think
bro.
anybody wants to talk about
I
it.
really don't want to talk about All-Star. Okay. Jeff Gluck tweeted as this episode is
Oh,
recording.
God.
Marcus Smith was just on Sirius XM radio, and Smith sounded reluctant to move the All-Star race from Texas next season. And he said that they sold.
We're ending the episode here. I don't want to hear no more. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
He said they sold more tickets this year. Yeah, of course you did, because we're not in a freaking. Well,
Pandemic.
we are, but we're not like.
Trapped inside anymore.
Oh my gosh. He goes, there's just some people out there who like to complain more often than anything.
Oh my God, Texas is terrible.
If you talk to the fans who were there, they had a great time. Denny Hamlin subtweeted and said, please, the court, I would like to present Exhibit 1. No one wants the All-Star race at Texas except for Marcus Smith. And
I don't even want to race at Texas.
can we get to the point that Texas is not good for Cup cars? I'm sorry. It's great for IndyCar. For Cup,
even that it's hit or miss.
Yeah.
for real, even that it's hit or miss,
Texas
but
is just terrible in general. Literally.
it's just not
terrible.
it's not a good look. And when they moved the All-Star race from Charlotte to Bristol Motor Speedway, Marcus Smith said that we were going to be moving the races kind of like the NBA All-Star game.
Rotating,
and having it go to different tracks, okay? I was fine with it going to Texas last season because we took a date away from Texas for COTA. However, when the beginning of the season, the schedule was released, Texas still had the All-Star race. So riddle me this, Batman. Why aren't we going to a different track? And I don't want to go to a track that's not in NASCAR. Like, I saw some people that wanted to go to North Wilkesboro. Why would you want to go there? That'd be worse. Can we just go to a track that is, like, good for NASCAR? Can we go to, like, say, I don't know.
I wouldn't mind Las Vegas.
Las Vegas would be cool. Martinsville would be cool for the All-Star race.
I mean, like,
know.
okay, so Las Vegas, I saw this tweet and I thought this was the greatest.
Daytona
idea.
Road Course would be pretty sick.
That would be cool. But I saw a tweet and this person like tweeted like, so Las Vegas Motor Speedway hosts a EDM like festival. I think it's EDM. It's something like that. But like it's something like rave stuff basically. And like it looks dope. Like they decorate the track in flashing lights. The grandstands have like lights. Like it looks nuts. Like do that at the same time as the All-Star race and you'll get more people to turn out. I mean, like, I'm not saying this helps the 500 or whatever, but like the 500 has a snake pit and it makes everybody have a great time while they're there. Like not everybody likes to watch the race. They like to party and dance and stuff or whatever, but they turn the final 15 laps on like during the race in the snake pit. Like I'm waving my hands furiously right now. If you can't see me, if you're listening,
You can't tell.
Like it,
I don't really want to talk about the All-Star race anymore. So let's just talk about the trucks in the Xfinity races. Stuart Friesen gets the win in trucks, his first win in the Truck Series in a couple seasons.
Nice.
So good to see Stuart get into victory lane. I was pulling for Ryan Preece. I'm not gonna lie, but hey, cool to see a guy that hasn't won this season get a win.
I don't even know who won any of these races because I didn't pay attention because it's Texas. I hate Texas.
Me neither.
Texas is terrible.
The guy who won the Xfinity race, Daniel, you might be a little happy about this because Tyler Reddick took Big Machine Racing to their first career win.
There you go, baby.
And that's cool. I like Big Machine Racing.
Baby, let's go. Let's go.
I like Big Machine Racing. I liked Jade Buford, but I understand the fact of why they've taken him out of his seat because he was not performing to what they thought that they were because they are RCR affiliate. They are an RCR affiliate car.
And they got funding.
And they have funding, so I like it. I like that Tyler Reddick was in the car, and I hope they keep the car in rotation. Cup Series, Ryan Blaney won the All-Star race. Ross Chastain almost flipped. Good to see that car, him and be okay, and that everything was okay with that.
Yeah, that was crazy.
let's go ahead and transition to our. I don't want to talk about the All-Star race. I'm sorry, guys. It's
fine.
500 weekend. I want to talk about the 500. I want to talk
Okay.
about the Coke 600, and I want to talk about Monaco. That's what I want to talk about.
Well, let's
There we
get to our race predictions then, buddy.
Okay. Huge. This is the weekend of all weekends if you're a motorsport fan that everyone looks forward to. Sorry, if you wanted us to talk about the All-Star race, go on Twitter. Because we talk plenty about it on Twitter, and we're going to host a race spaces probably tonight about all of our stuff. Oh, by the way, I guess that's something that we could tell you guys about. We started doing race spaces, so if you guys on Twitter, called the Indy Boys Race Space, if you guys want to talk about it with us, you guys can join in. You can talk straight to us. It'll be good to get to know some of you guys. But anyway, Indy 500. So here's the thing, Jay. Do we want to do 2 picks, like a 1 pick and an underdog, or do we want to do 3?
Let's do 3, like the podium.
I feel like for this one we have to do 3.
Do you want to do a podium?
Yeah.
I wouldn't do a podium for this one.
Just
I feel like this is a race where podium does not matter. The winner matters.
Okay.
It's true. All right, so 3 picks for the winner. My first pick is the pick that I've picked since May 1st of 2022. And
By the way, these picks on your screen are from the previous episode, just letting you guys know. But sorry,
All right.
go ahead.
So, my first pick, Rinus VK. I've picked him since the beginning of the month. I thought he was going to win the 500 right when I just have a feeling. I have a feeling he's on the front row. He's always fast at IMS. I could see it. That 21 Bitcoin car is very pretty. So, picking the orange. That's my first pick. Second pick, have to have a Chip Ganassi racing car in there. Except it's not the one you might think. I'm going to pick Marcus Ericsson. That's my second pick.
That's interesting.
I like Marcus. I like that whole team. They've been quietly a top 5 car, and could see it happening. And my third and final pick is someone that did not make the Fast 12, but it is an Indy 500 winner. Simon Pagenaud is my third pick. Ladies and
Nice.
gentlemen.
Okay.
Interesting.
Dope.
All right.
All right, let's hear it, Daniel.
Okay. First pick, I'm going with my preseason pick that I picked in January or whenever we did our preseason picks. I'm going Alex Palou. He's so good. I believe his rookie year, I think he finished top 5. I could be wrong about that. Last year, he finished second and probably could have won that race had there been a few more laps. I think that momentum is there, and he's on the front row. He's got a great car. Chip Ganassi, just insane this year. So I think I could see Alex Palou finally getting a Indy 500 after the past 2 great years. Second pick, this is the one that I have been saying it to Jay and Tristan all week. And I've said it on our racing spaces, our pace space, if you will. I've been saying this all week. I have a feeling. I don't know what it is. I don't know if I'm just making this up and just convincing myself that it's going to happen, or I don't know if I'm in my That's So Raven era and I'm just looking into the future and seeing this. But I have a feeling that Tony Kanaan is getting a second Indy 500.
I already typed it.
I don't know what it is. I just have this really weird feeling, and I've told everybody this because I feel very confident. And then third pick, I could go with a wild card, but I'm going to go with something else that I could see happening that at the beginning of the year I didn't really see happening. But I think Takuma Sato could get a third.
Ooh, okay.
That's my dad's pick. Fun fact,
He's
that's my
looked
dad's
really good. He's looked really good in the past week. Dale Coyne Racing has looked really good in the past week. Way better than they typically do at the 500. And I think Sato is going to be one of those weird racers that all of a sudden just randomly gets up to 3, and then you're like, holy crap, is he going to make the 4-timer club? And honestly, I could see it.
You might. Here's the thing. I love Takuma Sato, and I had him for my front row. But I guess just the disappointment of him not making the Fast Six, it's kind of haltered my faith in him. But my dad is still picking him. So if you guys don't know, my dad is a massive IndyCar fan, and my dad's favorite driver is Takuma Sato. So I guess I'll just tell my dad's picks really quick. My dad picked Alex Palou and Takuma Sato. Those were his two picks for the 500.
Nice.
So that's what he's going to stick with. And I think he said his third guy was probably Dixon.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Jay.
All right. First pick, Pato O'Ward.
My girlfriend will be happy with that one.
Here, let me do that. There we go. Now we're good. Second pick, Rinus VeeKay.
Yo, let's go. That's my pick.
Third pick, Alex Palou.
Yep.
And those are my three.
Rinus VeeKay has been my 500 pick since predictions at the beginning of our first episode. I picked Rinus VeeKay.
Pato's been my preseason pick, so I'm sticking with it. I honestly
So
feel confident.
did we all three pick our preseason guy?
I guess so.
Mm-hmm.
I feel
Wow, that's
confident. I feel confident with Pato.
I feel confident in
That's the
mine,
thing.
yeah.
Look at us. Not me. All right, let's go ahead and. Do we want to go to Monaco next, or do we want to do our group pick? Because our group pick this week is going to be for the Indy 500. Do we want to save that?
Let's do the group pick since it's a part of the 500s.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we are required to make this group pick, and not only because he's a friend of the show, but just because
He's been impressive.
he's been very impressive. People, if you didn't follow Indy Lights, really, a lot of people would have been surprised about this pick at the beginning of the season. But this guy has been fast. I was honestly surprised that he didn't make the Fast 12. He would have told you that he should have made the Fast 12. But starting 13th, our group pick this week, I'm going to change hats. Our group pick is the number 18 of David Malukas. That is our group pick this week. Rookie.
Sir.
He's going to do well. And I know none of us picked him for our main three, but he needs to be our group pick this week. And we're
It's
all
only
in.
fair. It's only fair.
We're all in on the 18. So
All chips in on 18.
there you go.
And the words of the Pat McAfee story about Peyton Manning at a casino, all chips on red 18. All chips are on red 18.
All right. Let's go ahead and let's do our Monaco podium, I guess, next. I guess I could go first with Monaco. I have changed my Monaco pick many times already. And I mean, I started it with Leclerc. I've thought about Sainz. I've thought about Checo. I've thought about Verstappen. But I think he's kind of gonna be like Tyler Reddick for me. I'm gonna pick him until he wins. George Russell's gonna win Monaco this year. That's my number one on the podium. This one you guys might be a little surprised at, might not be. I have Carlos Sainz on my podium, and third I have Max Verstappen. That's my podium for Monaco.
Okay. All right. You want me to go or Danny? Do you want to go?
Yeah.
I'll go.
Okay.
I'm gonna go someone that hasn't won yet this season because he's experienced, and this is a track that rewards experience in a way. I'm gonna go with Lewis Hamilton getting his first win of the season. In second, think I'll go Verstappen. Third, I'll go Checo. I'll go Perez.
Nice. Those are good picks. Okay, so first I'm gonna go with Charles Leclerc. Second, I'm gonna go with Max Verstappen. Third, I'm gonna go with George Russell. That's my podium for Monaco.
Okay.
So
There you go.
we'll see what happens.
You never know.
All right, as we've been doing for the NASCAR Cup Series, Xfinity Series, and Truck Series, we got that one pick for trucks, that one pick for Xfinity, and then our two picks for the Coke 6. the longest race in the NASCAR circuit is the Coca-Cola 600, and it's going to be really interesting to see who's got that going. I mean, obviously we don't really know all the drivers yet because we filmed the show on a Monday, and hasn't been released for the Xfinity and the truck guys for the full roster, but I think you guys can just assume. Trucks this week, I'm going to be picking Zane Smith because I want to. So I'm picking Zane Smith. Not only because he's he's 5th in the driver standings right now behind John Hunter Nemechek, and Ben Rhodes and Chandler Smith and Stuart Friesen, but he's leading the playoffs for trucks, so that's my pick. Nice. Second pick for Xfinity, I guess my Xfinity pick this week. He's gonna finally win, guys. Landon Castle is my pick.
Ooh, okay.
Xfinity. And then for the Coca-Cola 600, fun fact, guys, this is my favorite race of the NASCAR circuit. I love this race. I think it's fun. It's a strategy race. It's long. It is very long, but it's a good race. So my first pick is going to be Ross Chastain. Okay. That is my Coke 600 pick. And my underdog, or my second pick, is someone that always runs well at Charlotte Motor Speedway. However, someone that doesn't normally get the attention deserved for how well he runs there. And he's a past Coke 600 winner and All-Star race winner back when they was at Charlotte. I'm going to go Kurt Busch.
Oh, okay.
Here you go.
All right. Daniel, let's hear it, buddy. Let's hear all three of them for trucks, Xfinity, and Cup.
Trucks? Let's see. I'm picking until he wins Carson Hocevar. I'm sticking with it. That man's getting a win soon. I will pick him every week if I have to. Xfinity, I'll go Josh Berry.
Okay.
And then Cup.
2 picks for Cup.
Mm-hmm. First pick, young Ryan Blaney.
Nice.
YRB. Fresh off of his.
And then
race
And
win.
then wild card, I'll go DeClosa, Alex Bowman.
I was about to say
the new closer.
Okay.
Nice.
B.
Okay, so for trucks, for me, I'm gonna go with Zane Smith.
There we go. High five. Bam.
And then for Xfinity, I'm gonna go with Noah Gragson. And then for the Coke 600, my main pick is going to be William Byron.
Ooh.
And then my underdog is going. This one I'm just picking shit out of my head. Let's go with. It's not really an underdog, but he's kind of one of the guys I already predicted the winner at the beginning of the season, Ryan Blaney.
There you go. There you go, guys. Those are our predictions for this weekend for the one of the crown jewels of racing, the greatest spectacle in racing, the Indianapolis 500, the greatest race of all time.
Just the greatest day in racing.
This race, okay, May 29th, or Memorial Day weekend, it's just, it kind of makes you emotional because it comes every year and you kind of don't appreciate it until it's done. But this year we have a true great day in racing. I don't know why I'm getting emotional. I'm just excited. And it really does suck that I'm going to have to miss the 500 this year. And
Why?
Going quiet? Yeah, I kind of am because if you guys don't know, I will be missing the Indianapolis 500 this year as I will be in San Antonio, Texas, So I will not be at this year's Indianapolis 500, and it's really sad because I love the Indy 500. I love May, but it's going to be a good race, and I'm very grateful that I've gotten to experience the last couple of weeks with my two co-hosts, Daniel Chaney and Justin Cox, and they've just. I feel like we've all kind of gotten a little bit closer throughout our experience at the track because we've been there, guys, literally every single day. This is like our first true day off because Sunday wasn't even really a day off because we spent the entire day watching racing.
Yeah.
But like, this is just, it's going to be a good weekend, and I'm getting a little emotional. But I'm excited for the Indy 500, guys, and this is our 19th episode of this show.
This is the 20th, buddy.
This is our 20th episode of this show.
20th.
Oh my gosh! Wow. I swore it was
Perfect.
19, guys.
Look, I love how this worked out because it perfectly coincided with the 500. That's actually insane.
Guys, so we've done 20 episodes of this show, and this was an idea. There was an idea to bring together a group of remarkable people, and I mean, me and Daniel, we've known each other for years, and we've met Jay at the track and just through like following each other on Twitter, and I feel like we've built something that is just really special.
It's
and
fun.
It's fun. It's a good time, and meeting people that watch the show. Like, I can't tell you, I never thought that I would like get recognized by someone, and to like have people stop me and like ask for a picture was weird. I don't even think I told Jay this because I told Daniel this because I was walking by myself. I had a fan of the show stop me and ask to take a picture, and I didn't know what to do. I was like, this has never happened to me before, and so I took a picture with him, and I was like, yeah, just like tag us on social media and we'll for sure interact with it. They never did, but it just kind of felt cool to kind of get recognized and to like get accepted, I guess, into this whole motorsports community, because like we already kind of were in it, but now we're seen as like members for sure, and like we're like people in media, and that's weird, and I love it. And to like have friends that are drivers and have friends in the garage, it's just cool, and to like and be able to interact with people that like I've talked to or have like listened to like shows by them for years.
Dude, we're friends with Marshall Pruitt. That's whack to me.
That is crazy though. Like,
and it's just interesting, and to like come to the point where we are, it's not weird for me walking next to Scott Dixon, or like obviously I'm still kind of like, oh wow, it's Scott Dixon, but like it's not like weird anymore. And I feel like this show has definitely helped me grow my motorsports knowledge, and the whole goal of this show, guys, if you guys didn't know, was to make it to 500 weekend. That was our goal, was to make the show go until we hit our Indy 500 episode. We weren't even going to do weekly episodes, guys. That just kind of happened. We did it, boys. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. We made it to episode 20, and
but just because we're here doesn't mean we stop though.
that's true,
Right.
guys. If you guys did not know, we are going to be doing this show throughout the entirety of the summer. We started this show because I had to do a school project, and it's given us so many great opportunities, and we have so many more coming in the future, and it's just going to be
Insane.
very special. It's very, very special. Do you guys have anything you guys have to say?
I'll go. I'm just appreciative that we have we have like a cult following that like a lot of people have caught on to, like not like cult in a bad way, but like normal listeners, I should say, is what I'm trying to say. Like I appreciate those people. Like we have people that'll come in like on like certain episodes like with drivers and stuff, but like we have people that literally listen to every single episode, and I love hearing that. Like my friend Mike, like, he says, like, even if he didn't know me, he would literally listen to and he found it, he would literally listen to it the same way he listens to it now. Like he literally, like, he said that every time, like, he listens, he like interacts, but then he's like, wait, I'm not there, I can't talk. And like it's just cool to hear that, like, from someone that like actively listens. And like, we've talked to people on social media, and some of the people that like have listened to our stuff, like media guys, like at the track or whatever, and people like appreciate what we're doing, and I appreciate everybody that listens. So like, it's just nuts. Like, I don't know, it's dope. Like, I've always wanted to do a podcast, and we're getting to do it, and we're getting a lot of opportunities by doing it, so it's pretty cool. But yeah, like, and then not only that, but this month has like been my dream, like, to be a media member and like meet and interact with drivers, take videos and pictures and stuff the way I have. Like, it's just been nuts. Like, I don't even know, like, at the end of this month I'll recollect like what my life is, but right now I can't.
I'll probably break down and cry. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'll probably lay there in a ball and I'll just sob because
I'm gonna
of
be
how
like, I don't want it to be over.
Right.
It's just kind of natural now. Like, it's normal, and I don't want to like it not to be there now. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I don't know, but I mean, it is what it is. So, but I don't know. I'm very appreciative for Burnout Sports, you guys, fans, everybody that listens, anybody that just even interacts with social media if they don't listen to the show, like, that actively follows us on social media. Like, I really, and I'm pretty sure we all three really appreciate everybody. So, yeah. What about you, Daniel?
I mean, I've had such a good time with this, and like the past few weeks, bro, have just been weird, bro. And like, I never would have thought this would actually like turn into something. Like, when we started this, I thought we were just gonna kind of like do it for a class, and then just kind of probably stop doing it after a while.
Yeah.
And it's like turned into like an actual thing, and like we've made friends through the show, and like I am so appreciative of that.
Like,
because
bro, we were in a David Land vlog. Like, I never thought I would see
that.
Yeah.
like people I have like watched on YouTube, like listened to podcasts for like the past few years, like they like know who we are, and they like watch and listen to our stuff and like help us, like give us critiques, and like that is so weird to me that like we can be sitting in the media center, and then Marshall Pruitt will come in, and we're like one of the first people he like comes in and says hi to. Like if you would have told me last year, I wouldn't have believed you. I would have been like, you're making up some baloney over here. But I mean, like we were in the elevator, and like a guy was in there with us, and he was like, "Oh, you guys here with someone?" We're like, "Oh, like we have a podcast." He's like, "Oh, that's really cool. How old are you guys?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm 19." And he was like, "You're 19 and you're in here." I was like, "It's weird to me too, brother." Like I don't know. I'm just so grateful and so thankful that we've been able to get these opportunities already and make something out of what at first like we thought was going to be nothing. Like, I am so thankful for that.
Like, this is literally supposed to be just like for fun, and now it's kind of like serious. Like, it's dope. But go ahead, Tristan.
Sorry to kind of get sappy on you guys at the end of this episode. It's just for the listeners, this is just it's really special to all of us to get to make these videos for you guys and to make content and to run downtown looking for street signs and to go over an overview of news that you guys probably already know, but like just for us to like you guys to hear our opinions on it and to talk about how bad the All-Star race was and to like to leading up to this weekend being the greatest race of all like in the history of all races, the Indianapolis 500. It's the whole point of this show is to like talk about racing, and this is the ultimate weekend to do it. And we're all three very grateful for everyone that listens to the show, and we are going to keep doing it. This seems like it's going to be our last episode of the show, but it's not. We are just really grateful for all of you guys, and grateful for all the guests, for everyone that's given us critiques, for every fan that listens, for everyone that interacted with our social media post of giving away one of the
a Miranda Cosgrove
a Miranda
flag.
Cosgrove flag that is just an inside joke with if you've been listening to our show since the beginning. Sad that the flag won't be in the background on Daniel's camera for the next couple of.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
But
Maybe it makes a comeback.
it might make a comeback, honestly. But shout out to Morgan Holidays on Twitter for winning that giveaway. That's really exciting. We're gonna send that out to you, and enjoy your one-of-a-kind flag, because I'm pretty sure that that's the only iCarly flag signed by David Malukas. So watch that be a thing now, where like that'll be the number one thing that he has to sign, and he'll be like, oh my god, this is my
that's the mark I want to leave on Motorsports.
Yes.
That is the
David
one
Malukas
thing I
has
want to leave.
sign
I
Miranda Cosgroves.
want one driver just have a significant item that was not their fault, that it's their significant item.
It's hilarious. But yeah, shout out to everyone that watches the show, and really grateful for everything. I guess we're gonna sign this episode off. What an incredible month this has been. We told you guys the month of May was gonna be incredible for us, and it's really picked up. We've talked to so many drivers, we've met so many people, and
it's been fun.
it's been really fun. And we're not done, everybody, because we have so much stuff planned in the future. As Flight Reacts would say, it's almost June, and it's going to get to the point where we're going to have so much content coming out every time. We're going to have a huge month of May vlog that's going to come out at the end of everything. It'll probably come out the first week of June. We're just going to compile every single like interview, every single like little clip that we've done from the month, and make it into like a 25-30 minute vlog for you guys. It'll be uploaded on our YouTube channel at Indy Boys Racing Podcast. It's going to be a good time. It's going to be an incredible time. So much stuff planned in the future. I feel like I'm just saying the same stuff over and over again at this point, but it's really exciting. Yeah, let's just go ahead and sign this episode off. Thank you guys so much for watching the Indy Boys Racing Podcast. Check us out on all of our social medias, on Twitter, Instagram, and on TikTok at Indy Boys Podcast. This is just so exciting, and it's been full of a lot of certified Dalton Kellett moments. I'll just say that. And thanks for listening on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, on YouTube, on Google Podcasts. All I gotta say.
Thanks to Hunter for coming on the show today too.
Yeah, thank you so much to Hunter McElrea for coming on the show. We know we've been bugging you for a while, so it's really nice for you to come on the show. And good luck this weekend for you, man, and all of your
next weekend.
Good luck for you next weekend in Detroit, and we'll for sure talk about that on the next installment of the Indy Boys Racing Podcast. As Jay is gonna cue the music right now. All right, guys, have a good one. Enjoy the Indianapolis 500. Let's see who goes and drinks that milk this weekend. Have a good one, guys.
I wonder if it's gonna be strawberry.